Welcome back. Game 2 is coming up. LGD 0-3 so far today. They got 2-0 very fast in the winner bracket final. Here they are in the loser bracket final. In some deep shit as well.
In deeper shit now. Holy fuck.
They gave away OD, and Elder Titan I feel not the best sort of immediate reaction or response to that, but we'll see how they do.
These two heroes are a really good combo. Elder Titan and Gyrocopter in terms of AoE. We saw that in the losing attempt. They were able to dish out a ton of AoE damage, but they were just like 3 levels and mech and a wall and a healing ward behind.
Yeah.
But if that's not the case,
we'll see what LGD can do.
Yeah.
I'm Gods, he's Luminous. We're going to hop ourselves into the game now as we get things underway here. This is your SinaCup loser bracket finals. LGD trail 1-0. They've gone into an Elder Titan Gyrocopter. And they're up against OD Lifestealer. Everything is already stacked against them, I feel, but let's see.
Still not OD tree yet.
Let's see what Zhao 8 has planned. He's called the Director 8 for a reason.
He's directing some bad films in the last couple of days. I don't know about these.
Oh man.
Well, Bane's gonna get picked up here by, get banned out by Tongfu, which is not a hero I've seen LGD play too often, but
they do every now and then.
Do they? I haven't seen.
Not frequently, I'd say, but it's definitely something they can do.
Okay, but just basically banning out heroes that are just decent against Lifestealer. So,
yeah.
And actually, Razor would double up against Outward Destroyer and Lifestealer in both laning and also in the mid game team fights.
Yeah. So pretty smart, obvious bans from Tongfu. For LGD, they ban out some strong laning supports. They start with the Visage. May look towards the Rubik here. I wonder what LG would do with that. I feel like this is a second time second or third time they've been picking this Gyrocopter up really early on in the first picking stage, and I feel it's just a bit of a mistake. It kind of forces you to put him into that safe lane. This is where I feel like they should go for a Weaver instead, because Weaver can go mid, can go safe lane solo, can go in a tri lane. I feel Weaver's a lot more versatile than a Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter really only goes safe lane. Maybe you can do offensive tri lane, but I feel Gyrocopter just a lot weaker than picking up something like an early Weaver.
Yeah, they did pick the Weaver, I think, the first game against IG, but they fell flat to the face where Xiao 8 wasn't able to do too much. For me, the interesting thing is that today, and I think maybe yesterday, or actually today, we've seen the draft mostly featuring kind of carries on the first couple of picks, whereas if we move back to the beginning of SinaCup, it seems like the support were favored.
Yeah.
I think it was those like Visage Nagas were your kind of your top tier picks, and now suddenly we're back to the carries. So maybe I feel like the Chinese teams in general are going through like a trend changing phase where they're just trying new things. And
I think it depends a bit on what the bans are always.
Sure,
if Naga Siren's in the pool, I think you see the Naga Siren picked up in the first stage.
Visage wasn't picked up in the first stage, and he was fully available. So
Tongfu really wanting that Lifestealer OD though, which you don't blame him. And LG going to go for a Chen. So the DD Chen, he played Enchantress last game, but didn't really have too much of an impact. And LGD, I feel they had Chen back when they were versing IG in that opening series of today, and once again, I feel like they just never have a big enough impact with these jungling heroes.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, generally, I personally actually dislike junglers in the current metagame. Simply just makes your lanes a little bit too weak. At the same time, we have seen defensive dual lanes actually withstand the onslaught of a tri lane, and once you get a level advantage, you could actually strike back with your Chen. So maybe we are speaking a little bit too soon about Chen making your lanes weaker. LGD, still looking okay, but whatever the last two pick is, gotta pick up a decent amount of AoE disable. So I'm looking towards things like Lina, Jakiro from their support role, and for their solo mid. A Shadow Fiend wouldn't be too bad, but let's see if they have something else on their sleeves.
Yeah, Shadow Fiend, I guess, does okay against the OD, but in general, it's never going to be the best of matchups. Whoever you send against OD, I think they almost have to accept that's a lane they may lose. Look to make sure their other lanes are strong, but you've got an Elder Titan off lane, not a very strong hero to go there as far as winning his lane or achieving a whole lot. Gyrocopter, Chen +1 can go safe lane, which to me is the one big lane they need to make sure they win. Start stacking up a bunch of camps. They almost need to go back to the Sylar-esque, just safe lane carry Gyrocopter, to just carry a ton of weight on his shoulders. Even though Zhao 2G now in this team, I feel there's a lot resting on this Gyrocopter.
Okay, so LGD Gaming suddenly looking a lot squishier, but at the same time a lot more offensive. Against a Lifestealer and OD lineup, I'm not sure this is the right way to take your lineup, because Lifestealer doesn't care about Crystal Maiden too much.
I don't think the CM's particularly a good hero to have against Lifestealer OD. And then there's a Nyx Assassin as well.
Right, I mean,
yikes.
Crystal Maiden pick suddenly allows Tongfu to go solo top Lifestealer if that's what they want. And there's nothing that LG could do about it if that's the case. So I feel like the Crystal Maiden to me is one of those niche supports, and picking it early really exposed the weakness of your trialing, which is lacking a real stun in this scenario, and it could be taken advantage of by Lifestealer.
So Tongfu decide they need a support. They're going to grab up the Keeper of the Light here, as that's probably, well, not definitely, may not round off their support too. We've seen them, they could go for the Nyx Assassin solo, but then it's like, where do you put the OD, unless you're doing some kind of a safe lane OD. So most likely it's Keeper of the Light, Nyx Assassin being the two supports.
Yeah, I would imagine that's the case. I mean, we could still see Lifestealer top OD, or sorry, Lifestealer Suicide lane, OD mid, and you could go like Keeper, PL, Nyx if that's what you want.
We could still see Weaver picked up for
Sure.
sure as well.
Yeah, I think Tongfu has so much versatility in their trial lane that they could go wherever. And again, I just don't like this Crystal Maiden in this particular draft. Weaver's gonna get banned out here from Xiao 8.
Okay, that makes sense there. Don't want to give that to Zhou once again, especially after last game. It was like 13-0 and 6 or something ridiculous. Tongfu, one more ban for them, and I guess we sort of look as far as Tongfu's concerned. Lifestealer here that either Zhou or XCT can play, depending on whether they want to go offensive trial lane, just offlane the hero, put him as a safe lane farmer. So the Chinese seem to have just been experimenting with a number of different styles. I mean, we haven't really actually seen the OD come out in many of these games because he's been banned so much, but
yeah,
he will make his first showing here.
Clockwork's gonna get picked up, and I don't.
That's for mid. Is that even for mid or? I don't. Clockwork does not do.
I think Elder
particularly
China
well against OD.
Yeah, Elder China and Clockwork could swap off in terms of laning, but I'm just more worried about the Clockwork hook because Clockwork hooks, and unless he gets anybody but the OD just Astro whoever that gets hooked, and suddenly Clockwork has initiated himself towards the enemy team. So unless Clockwork uses himself as a counter to initiate and setting up things like Elder Titan spells and Gyrocopter spells, it really limits what Clockwork can do in a game, and that's not really where you want to be opening up into a draft. But Xiaoyi knows best, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Tongfu, their last pick, I mean, you mentioned they could always go back for the PL Coddle, like you said, but at the same time, they've already got Lifesteal and OD as two of their calls. I feel if they go for like a greedy hard carry here, it could somewhat be their downfall.
Yeah, they don't have to. That's the thing. The beauty of this lineup is just they could do what they want, and the LGD really can't stop too much of it. I guess that's a big weakness of Elder Titan. It's a solo that doesn't really accomplish as much. Like, it doesn't win the lane. There are other solos out there that doesn't win the lane, but it taxes the enemy trial lane. For example, Nature's Prophet. He doesn't win the lane per se, but he's the one that could block your jungle camp. Darkseer doesn't win the lane, but he could get farmed in the jungle. So, what does Elder Titan truly do? Unless you get a decent 1v1 matchup, which is pretty rare. But in any case, we're going to see Earthshaker as the last pickup, and ZSMJ will be playing.
So this moves Nyx Assassin not onto the support role. So he's going to be actually XTT picking him up, which means do we look towards either Nyx solo mid with Zhou and Mu playing the side lanes? They can go offensive trialing with Earthshaker, Coddle, and Lifestealer, put OD as a safe lane solo, or even just a straight up offlane Nyx Assassin, which is kind of where XCT is normally lanes.
Yeah, you want your Nyx to be mid lane because he could kind of take advantage of the runes. We've seen, for example, Ferrari today grabbing a flurries of double damage and haste and was able to do a lot with it. Are they thinking about offensive trialing with the Nyx Assassin? He's a hero that needs a little bit of mana, or needs a little bit of levels, so unless get a ton of kills, I'm not sure whether that's going to work out. And well, we'll quickly introduce LGD China as they really need to put themselves on the board, pick up at least one game. DDC is going to be playing the Crystal Maiden. We have Xiao Juji playing Gyrocopter. Back in the base here, we have Xiao 8 Clockwork going mid, going for a quick bottle. DD is going to be playing Chen. And looks like the Elder Titan is going to be Yao Zero on the top lane.
Well, for the Dire side, Tongfu, they're up 1-0 to nothing. We're going to see Zhou playing the Lifestealer, Sanshank on the Keeper of the Light, Mu playing the OD, ZSMJ on the Earthshaker, and then finally it's XTT on the Nyx Assassin. Stout Shield first, no problem. We've seen Poor Man Shield first as a solo mid. And they're doing similar thing to last game. Sweep through the enemy jungle, 5 mana at level 1. They're not going to find the same pick off as last game.
Yeah, there's already Observer to scout things out. And Crystal Maiden should not get caught here. Crystal Maiden, or Chen in the trees. Very, very interesting starting item coming out from the supports of Tongfu. 4 clarities on Keeper of Light, not standard. 4 clarities on Earthshaker, that is a little bit standard. Are they going to just try to spam them out on the safe lane here? Against the Crystal Maiden and Gyro, that's very possible.
Is this a Nyx Assassin tri-lane? Wow.
I mean, Impel, Illuminate, and Fissure.
Why not?
That's yourself.
This is how this really sums up what Tongfu want to do. Offensive tri-lane every single game. game, give Zhou a 1v1 matchup, which he can just straight up win. And with a double damage rune on lifesteal, he is going to crush this lane. And even with an unorthodox trailing hero in Nyx Assassin, this trailing will work just fine.
Yeah, it will be okay, but looks like Xiao's up to no good as well in terms of trying to do something with these lanes. It's going to be a dual lane mid against OD. OD should be okay, but as much as Dire is trying to spam out bot, they're trying to spam out mid with things like Nova and Rocket Barrage. At least they're getting some CS, and it seems like Mu is not dominating this lane just yet, but Gyrocopter is not going to have a good time here at all.
Yeah, the first wave of nukes has already gone out. Impale, Keeper Light, Illuminate, Earthshaker Fissure is used.
They're just clearing you back up. This is disgusting.
Clarity Dota.
Yeah.
And CM, do we stay mid with CM, or do you even look to
You
send
stay
the
mid with CM, because CM, if she goes bot, she's food. She's absolute food.
Okay. Well, the Astral Imprisonment spam going to continue towards the middle lane, and if they can find like an opening on Mu here, it's fantastic. But in general, this CM is just going to sort of help out with a bit of harass and make sure
look at
Clockwork can
CM.
get fast.
She's getting aura at 2. This is just an indication that they're not looking to set up any solo kill in a tri lane. They just want to get more spam out. And the fact that you have Clarity running and a Crystal Main aura puts you at 66.4 mana regen per second for DDC. We're looking to spam Nova a little bit more. Here comes yet another Nova. Can they actually go for a kill? The Cogs not going to be there, and that's...
What's this courier doing bottom?
Where's the courier?
The Die Courier at bottom lane.
It just walked there?
It walked up to XCT. I think it must have just been a miss hotkey, because it was like right-clicked on him, so...
Well, it's flying back, so no big deal.
Yeah. It was melee form until they suddenly realized it's there. It's like, oh crap, let's upgrade this fast. But they've done a great job of just preventing Chen from getting any creeps here. They're blocking all his camps, body blocking them some, blocking others with wards here, and Keeper of the Light.
Checking runes and things of that nature.
No.
This is like you talked about. LGD, their weak links, maybe their supports. Tongfu, it feels like their supports know exactly what they're doing. They have a clear plan every single game.
Yeah, perhaps another way to look at it is that supports are needing to do a little bit more as LGD's hero. I mean, Clockwork in this case, of course, on the bot lane Gyrocopter, they're not decent laning hero in a sense. The same way that, for example, OD is a hero that really lacks... You don't need support for a hero like OD.
Yep. Well, OD's still being left mid. He's farming alright here. He's only got the 6 CS, so actually behind as far as CS goes against a Clockwork dual lane. As for top lane, Zhou is convincingly winning that CS battle with the off lane Elder Titan.
Yeah, Elder Titan's nukes can be just basically shrugged off. And, you know, Yao can really get close. If he does get close, a couple of rage hits, or not rage hits, feast hits.
Mid lane. They're waiting for a CM to hit level 3. And as CM hits level 3, the rotation from Chen is there. Frostbite. Oh, he needs to get away from this Centaur Sun. Oh, he's got cogs. He hasn't actually got battery assault.
The stomp. Oh, that's barely going to hit. The cog's going to fall through, and
nice.
Well, Mu's going to be dead. That's going to be a great first blood. They need to have a good start. They haven't had a good start for games, many games. And LGD put themselves on the board. I gotta say, this dueling Crystal Maiden Clockwork, impressive, effective.
Yeah, effective, as it's now created space for the Gyrocopter to get some farm and levels at bottom lane without being spammed down. He's still got his salve, despite the mass clarity Dota coming out from Tongfu with all that spam going down.
Maybe not enough clarity.
Yeah.
Clarity Dota, not enough.
Needed more. They've still got 2 left on Keeper and Earthshaker with 2 as well, so looks like the lane's kind of just going to start to fall.
He's going
to be... Oh, he's invis, so looking for another opening, but... Tongfu have just split their supports up. They send the Earthshaker to mid to protect Zhao Wei, and they're going to leave Keeper Light bottom to harass the Gyrocopter a little bit more.
The Cog's going to push Mu to the right side here. It's going to Astro and just walk the other way. The Chen creep's coming from inside as well. A lot of OD player would have tried to walk around the Cogs and basically died there, but it's like, yeah, I'll just go right and no big deal. Haste Rune. Are they going to do a little bit of lane rotation? That's the question. No. Looks like Mu's going to just use that haste to get back mid quickly.
Yeah, well, he's only level 4. That's the other thing here. Not just is he getting under-farmed, he's very under-leveled. Frostbite up, he's going to get someone jumped on. Meanwhile, bottom lane, it's actually Gyrocopter killing off the Keeper of the Light.
Kill, and they're not just done just yet. Can we get a ensnare off? Yes, there is. ZSMJ is going to eat a Rocket Barrage to the face. DD going to be body blocking, so, man, playing well so far are the supports. And when your supports play well, you get early game kills. Not even trying to steal the CS. Xiao Tuji gets a double kill for himself early.
Yeah, just having fast boots against supports who don't have boots like Keeper of the Light. Keeper of the Light has no defensive capabilities if Gyrocopter finds it.
Back in the mid lane here, it's going to be a Nova and a Frostbite. Mu dropping low, but there's going to be yet another Rocket Flare. Is there?
Level 2 Rocket?
No,
on
it's
cooldown.
used, but he's
got no HP regen. 80 HP. He's going to survive it. Just barely.
Misses.
That would have been, what, 100 damage?
Yeah, now the Salve's going to come here.
Yeah, 120. That actually would have...
Ooh, Salve gets cancelled, and Snare's going to come through, and DD is going to be right where he needs to be. DD's mobility and Okay.
Not a very mobile hero, but he's just always where he needs to be.
Yes, I mean, we just talked about 2 minutes in, and we saw ZSMJ blocking his camp, and he was not having a good time. And suddenly, 3 ganks after, he's hitting himself level 4.5. Xiao's 5 on the mid lane against OD. And OD have lost the lane. We've never really seen that anymore.
Yeah, I like this because we're seeing the way that Chen can be played, which he's not really played much. Most teams will use him just farming away early game, but he loses some camps. He says, I'm just going to keep on ganking. He's spent so much time roaming around, helping out the bottom lane. Gyrocopter once, twice to the mid lane, and they get a fast T1 mid tower. Traditionally the hardest tower to push early on, and he says, well, 5.5 minutes in, no problem, we'll just get this mid.
Meanwhile, it looks like solo kills are happening on the bot lane by Gyrocopter. It's 5-0 for LGD. They got the face speed on Gyro, and seems like they're unstoppable. The only thing that they have to lean back onto is, well, Zhou. Zhou's on the top lane, he's level 7. Could invest in for a couple kills. Meanwhile, Crystal Maiden's going to get picked off on the mid lane. We do have a clap coming off on top. Are we going to see Earth Sliver? Nothing just yet. More action happening on the mid lane here. Xiao dropping low. He's going to have to send back. The Fidget's going to hit. They can't really go for him anymore. The Impale will go on to DD instead, though. DD got the boost of speed. The creep waves are coming. Trying to help out the block, but the last Talon strike of Nyx Assassin will get the kill.
So they do get 2 kills at mid lane, losing the OD once more. And at this point, OD, you're not really looking towards him being much of a carry force. He just wants to get up and mech 4 stuff, whatever it may be. Hook shot. Where is that? Mid lane. Okay, so looking for an opening, not going to find anything. And as you said, the one good news for Tongfu is this Lifestealer who's crushing top, 45 CS. The next CS in the game is 28, which is his own teammate. So no one on LGD side is actually farming. 22 CS on Clockwork, on Gyrocopter.
They're farming in heroes, let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, 6-2 with a tower is not bad, but 6-2 alone is... we're thinking about a 1,500 gold league going the way of LGD.
Yeah, I mean, LGD is playing well. More importantly, for me this game, is their supports are getting levels. Crystal Maiden healing level 4, 7 minutes in is pretty impressive. And of course, Chen, because he's been ganking, he's a little bit lower level than usual, but he's helping his other teammates to do okay. We so far haven't seen a rotation up top for either team just yet, so I guess both teams very comfortable leaving in a 1v1 position. Yao is slowly losing the lane, but he is doing enough.
Yeah.
But here's where the mid game happens, and I think this is where LG might get into trouble with Crystal Maiden running into XTT.
Yeah, Crystal Maiden is going to be a freebie for XTT, and they'll take any kills they can get like this as just gold XP going the way of XTT, and he'll then look to help out this bottom lane. Xiao Tuji's just been getting way too much considering the lane he was meant to be up against.
Yeah, Xiao Tuji, I mean, he's getting solo kills, which is never what you want to have, but Facebook walk up to your Earthshaker and then Rocket Barrage, and you're probably dead afterwards. So, not much a Keeper and the Earthshaker can do.
Yep. Well, Earthshaker going to find an Illusion Rune at bottom, as he's up to just level 4 now. So, the ES Coddle, it's a really strong, powerful AoE combo, but this LGD team just has a lot of heals and also just sort of just single target ganking capabilities. Clockwork is the perfect hero to have against both Earthshaker as well as Keep It Alive.
Clockwork Cook's going to fly through against Moo, and Moo's self-astral, but that's going to set up a perfect call down here. The first strike's going to hit, the second strike will hit and get the kill as well. Illuminate's going to follow through, an XTT going to try to Vendetta out of there, and he will. So, in fact, is he going to turn back and maybe set up a kill for his allies? We'll see. No Sentry Ward in the lane just yet. Xiao Tuji takes the nuke to the face.
And he knows there's no Sentry Ward because those creeps weren't attacking him, so you should have a good idea there's none near his tower, but there is further down, both in the jungle as well as in the lane. So if he ventures out too far, he will get spotted. It looks like he's not going to do that at all.
And Yao actually made a rotation, so I think they're going to try to get a tower push out of this, because we are going to see probably Zhou going to try his best to push a tower on his own.
Yeah, and not easy for a lifesteal, but just it's like what we saw last game with this Weaver, just getting hits on the tower whenever possible, and even just creep skipping here, knowing that Elder Titan is bottom. 5 LGD heroes committing to this bottom lane, so they need to make something happen soon, and this is not really looking to shape up to be much of a push, at least not yet.
Yeah, and of course this is what Zhou needs to do. Creep skip, basically. Once you creep skip, you're tanking the entire creep wave, you can mow it down very quickly, and allow your creeps to basically work on the tower. But Rocket Flare is going to help out a little bit here for Xiao. Xiao working back to base, basically. You know, full mana, full HP. Maybe he wanted to initiate more on the bot, but just couldn't find the opening.
Zhou is still just ridiculously farmed. 75 CS.
The next closest, 34.
30? That is insane. Unfortunately for Tongfu, is that's a lifesteal. They would have loved this to be the case on someone like an Antimage. Lifesteal is still a good carry, but not really a hero which is just going to completely snowball and win you the game on its own with this kind of farm.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Tongfu's hero, they're pretty good at finding farm, though. Earthshaker as well as Keeper are two supports that, if you have enough mana, will get farm. It looks like we're going to see a little bit of initiation. Nope. Detected by a sentry, XCT says, alright, I'll just de-ward. I keep that too.
Yep. Well, Zhao 8 Invis rune at the top lane, and that's a big problem with LG's lineup, is they have no heroes to actually gank lifestealer with.
They can't. Clockwork's not doing it.
They don't have any good stuns in general, and then you have a rage on lifesteal as well to get away from a lot of these nukes, so they haven't got anything that good at dealing with them. They haven't even got great single target physical damage, so is this a hero which maybe is just going to save Tongfu's day?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, despite how well LG is playing right now, their lead has been dwindling close to 1,000 gold. At the same time, they have bought themselves a lot more farm on Xiao Tuji. Xiao Tuji's had a tough time in the early outsets of the game. I think they're okay. The big concern for me is where's the mid-game damage coming from LGD, especially now that Xiao Tuji's picked up a Ogre Club for a BKB. You have basically one hero doing the damage. I guess Clockwork as well as Elder Titan is going to give you some magical damage output, but more often than not, you lean on your Gyrocopter to do the rest, and I just don't know whether he can do all of it.
Yep, well, this top tier 1 tower is going to get down to deny range. It looks like Zhou needed to rage.
Oh, no rage, Earth Splitter.
Is he going to straight up die? No, he's going to infest. Courier comes this way, drops off something, or looking to drop off something. He's got a Drum of Endurance there.
The Earth Splitter came really late.
The rage never even came either.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Zhou did not see that coming, especially with a tower that low. You should just be looking to rage to ensure you get it. But
Xiao and Crystal Maiden's been camping on the mid lane for a good half a minute now.
And Lifesteal's going to TP bottom, so he's decided his job at top lane is done. He needs to make a rotation bottom. With this tower getting low, Earthshaker, Keeper Light doing a great job of keeping towers alive. Fissure, Illuminate spam, and you can't really do much against that.
Yep, Crystal Maiden rotating around. And
Hook.
Clockwork Hook, that's going to hit, but Moo's going to self-disrupt, and that's going to draw like 3 TPs. And in fact, Xiao 8 in a little bit of trouble.
He's going to be okay. The Fissure, not on the correct side, so to speak, but even so, there wasn't much chasing going on unless they waited for the Astro to come off cooldown. This sort of leaves the bottom lane a bit open, as Earthshaker did TP, so just Sancheng here with an Illuminate. But oh, sorry, Tongfu Zhou here as well, so he's still the bottom lane.
Clockwork Fissure. Can he? I don't know. I don't know, Xiao 8. Illuminate, he's going to break the cog. The Fissure stunned here, and Zhou comes out, but there's a send back. Can he make it back home? The damage output is absolutely insane. You cannot be sent back, and now Zhou just walks across a Fissure block. That's going to just isolate everybody. Can we have an Earth Splitter? No, cooldown for 20 seconds. He's going to run right in. What happened to Zhou? Zhou is just chasing away. Zhou's being chased now, and he's going to run back.
Yeah, he's got no infest for the time being, so he doesn't want to stay around and push his luck too much. Tongfu killing off the Clockwork there and taking no losses. They took a ton of damage all around, but
yeah, he bought back. Rocket Flare's going to come through. Looks like he was looking for ZSMJ, didn't find anybody.
Do some scouting, but yeah, that was a really good fight for Tongfu. We talked about LGD don't feel like they're far enough ahead. Their small lead that they had is dwindling, and now it's Tongfu with a gold advantage. Maybe gets changed by this T1 tower, but even so, Lifesteal picks up an armlet, and LGD are going to struggle in team fights.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do against... BKB's not going to solve the issue. Gyrocopter could maybe withstand a little bit longer, but looks like they're going to try to pick off Moo. Moo's going to come to run to the right side, but Xiao 8's already trying to cut him off. The Juke coming out from Moo, but the Clockwork Hook right on target, and now Xiao Tuji's right there. Where's the Astro? I think... Oh, no!
Times it.
Times it perfectly, dodging basically everybody. Spell, he's going to get frozen, but he's going to get brought down eventually. But are they going to lose any hero? Looks like ZSMJ walking back in, trying to drop that ultimate. Crystal Maiden is going to suicide for her life. Xiao 8 dropping low. Rocket Barrage going to come into Cogs, blocking Zoe, but Zoe says, thank you for the free 1v1 arena. Zoe's going to go down to the right click of Yao Yao, trying to TP out. No, there's the Echo Stomp.
Meanwhile, Chen is just man-fighting Sancheng. Support on support. Sancheng decides just to drop an Illuminate, looking for a revenge kill. Meanwhile, under the tower, Nyx Assassin, XTT, he needs an Impale. Rabbit, Zhao Tuji on the run.
Oh, that's not the right juke. That's not the right juke. You gotta have to go for the juke there.
Chen gets stunned up by the Carapace. Now he's going to test the faith, but not enough damage coming out. XT Ancestral Spirit takes him out. What a crazy, scrappy fight. That fight was just taking place all over this middle lane, and in the end, it goes okay-ish for LGD. I feel like they had the slightly better off there, especially killing off Zhou on that lifesteal and making a big dent in his farm.
Yeah, because the Gyrocopter survived longer than Zhou, he was able to pick up maybe 1 or 2 more assist gold kills, which is pretty impressive. The way that Chen was able to get a ton of kills, that's going to put him up to a decent level and mech. The thing that's a little bit concerned for me is that they mistimed their call down through the Astro, so that's a mistake they cannot make again, because they lack damage as a team, and UGX cannot throw away free damage. Xiao 8 in really big trouble. Maybe he's going to hook to his ally to save himself. No, he's going to just tank it straight up.
Even look for a turnaround here. Radiant team does have Central Ward, so they scatter the Nyx Assassin rotating in XTT. Not going to be able to poke around too much. If XTT can get a Blink Dagger up for his team, we can look for some Infest Nyx Assassin initiations as well. You can't really do so too easily just with the Vendetta because of all the Sentry Wards being around, but it's Xiao Wei, once again, looking for an opening at top.
Yeah, I really like the combo coming out from Clockwork as well as Elder Titan. Rocket Barrage as well as Astro just literally constantly... Oh, I did not know you could soak to your own Astro! And that just killed Xiao Wei. I'm not sure if Xiao Wei knew about that as well. No, Xiao Wei is still very much so alive. The Stomp's going to get channeled. It looks like we're going to have one person coming back in. Where's the Rocket Barrage? Looks like there's one kill immediately happening. Xiao Tuji dropping low the fissures, allowing Zhou to get the right click. But the Chain Stun still there. The mech comes through. Xiao Tuji still alive. And Zhou out of mana at this point. He pops his magic wand and he's chasing forward his cooldown. The cooldown comes through. Can we get a Frostbite? The Frostbite gets enraged immediately. DDC on the run. Illuminate and Impale is going to bring him down. Xiao Wei is going to get brought down as well.
Yeah, he gets hit by the Carapace. And oh, great fissure coming out from ZSMJ. Hits both Crystal Maiden and the Elder Titan. Definitely the death of DDC here. Question is, can Elder Titan get away? It looks like he's going to be okay, but the Carapace on the Ancestral Spirit locks him in place, gives Zhou time to catch up, open wounds, life-stealing himself back up. He wants to go for the light. Not going to happen. Tongfu get almost a complete team wipe there. The only survivor, Zhao Chuji, is back at base, and well, after the poor fight at mid lane for Tongfu, that one they win convincingly. Did they lose a single hero there even?
No. Xiao Wei hooked to the Astro coming out from Elder Titan. I didn't even know that works. I didn't even know that counts as a unit. But after the hook went in, it was just chaos ensued. I think LGD just kind of panicked. Again, they weren't able to time their call down as well as the Clockwork cog well. And they lost a ton of damage. And again, they're a lineup that lacks damage. And Tongfu's range is coming through because you have Impale that's just clipping one or two heroes just on the tip. You have Fissure, you have Illuminate that just casts it throughout the entire team fight. So when you miss that Clockwork hook, you just have to back off. You just don't have the range to compete against Tongfu.
Yep, as I think LGD, the big thing is here, they need to farm up BKBs, both on Gyrocopter, Clockwork as well. Without even Elder Titans going for it, until they get these BKBs, taking teamfights is just not working out for them. The AoE spam from the two support heroes is doing a ton of damage. Nyx Assassin as well. Impale and Carapace is doing some serious work. Carapace actually managed to secure multiple kills there, and is being used every time Elder Titan uses that Ancestral Spirit. So LGD, recognizing they're in a bit of trouble, maybe they're actually going to smoke up, swing through their own jungle, look to sort of meet up with the Gyrocopter maybe at bottom lane, but this is getting very, very dicey for LGD.
Yeah, the smoke's going to give Darius some sort of protection. Once they run into these Centaur creeps, they will know, right? And they're going to turn back. So they would know Nyx Assassin's right there. Centaur's going to drop down. This is a huge mistake by XTT. He knew that the enemy team would know, but they're going to take a fight regardless. XTT's going to be the first one to drop. Xiao Wei gets mech back up, and Zhou, he's got to infest into one of these creeps. He doesn't have infest. Here comes a blinding light and a fissure that's going to push Xiao Tucci on the other side. Illuminate's going to come through. That is way too greedy by XTT.
I don't know if he realized there was smoke. I think he just thought he walked into a Chen army.
He was walking up a hill. That's true.
If he realizes that was smoke, he would not go there because he's like, okay, I just broke their smoke. Definitely they plan a Sensual. But if he thinks he just casually runs into Chen creeps, he's like, oh, Chen's around. Let's go for a kill.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But I guess it worked out a lot better, and that's thankful for Tongfu's level and item advantage. Xiao Tuji eats a Fissure and Illuminate, and that's going to be a...
They can hold this tower, though. They've got Fissure, Illuminate.
Well, it's on cooldown right now, and they're going to suffer a little bit of damage. Another Illuminate comes through, and here comes Zhou. Rage, really early usage. The Earthslinger is going to try to cut everybody off. The slow's going to apply here, and Yao's going to be fine. The Rage runs out, and the Rocket Barrage is going to come through. Bye-bye, Burden, he says. And it looks like ZSMJ drops a huge ultimate. Xiao Tuxi's alive. Xiao Wei's alive. And that's another win team fight, but here comes Zhou. He gets pushed back. The Rage finally gets popped. He's going to go on Xiao Wei, and I think they finally going to kill Xiao Wei. Maybe not. The Clockwork stun coming through. Body blocking from Xiao Tuji, but not going to be enough because Xiao Wei, or the face from Zhou is going to be back, and Zhou's just running ahead. He has to invest, so he's not too afraid. He invests out of the Crystal Maiden Frostbite. Still going Xiao Tuji. Xiao Tuji's going to get brought down. Crystal Maiden's on the run. Or is he? He's actually chasing Zhou.
He decides not to take the fight with the Crystal Maiden as Elder Titan has arrived, and that's a lot of plus damage. If he can get a few charges, Fissure, Illuminate, Zhou considering going back in. He's got the mana to do so, but decides even after some armlet toggling, doesn't want to do so there. OD is just not really packing enough punch here. He actually got taken out by the Elder Titan in the trees there. Elder Titan was just like never actually dealt with or pushed out of those trees, and as a result, he comes in from the side, finishes off Moo, and Moo is just not having a very good game. He is 0-7 on this OD.
Oh wow, I've never seen OD go 0-7, and once you do kind of get into this negative territory, you never kind of climb back. You become a utility player for your team. So 4 staff is good. Do you have a mech for the team yet? No, it looks like we have Shansheng working on it. So I think he's gonna go like Yule Scepter next, maybe Treads. I don't know what he does, but it's not gonna be a Hex. Maybe he goes BKB instead, but he's not gonna be a factor for his team anymore. Aside from maybe proccing a couple of auras for maybe XTT or Earthshaker.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you go. The mech's already being picked up on the Keeper of the Light, so it's not going to be an OD mech, it looks like, which means Hex is a possibility, but I think you just go straight BKB if you're OD.
Yeah.
But even so, it's not going to be a lot of damage output, but he just needs to survive these fights. It's going to be the big thing.
Well, Moo just hanging out in the top lane, farming away. Looks like we have a little bit of a calm phase coming out before after those chaotic team fights, which I think favors LGD. I think they're a team that collectively could get a little bit more farm.
They haven't got any of those 3 BKBs yet, and they're both fairly close to them.
Yeah, and that's a big deal. Whereas Lifestealer is a hero that could kind of scale pretty scarily. Looks like he's going to go for a Heaven's Halberd, it seems like.
Or the Sanjin Yasha build.
Oh yeah, sorry. Definitely Sanjin Yasha. There's no questions asked for Zero. But, I mean, this build kind of it's not that good. He's also not that good in the sense of a ultra late game carry. And looks like Joe basically could just run away from this entire gank plot.
Doesn't have to worry about rage unless he gets frostbitten.
So the reason I don't really like SNY in this build is that where's your secondary damage source? We saw him actually being able to brought down earlier, so he is not invincible right now. Joe is just standing in the front line. It's like I don't really care.
Well, yeah. Nothing can actually kill him unless his rage is on cooldown, which is sometimes happens if he initiates in, but for the most part,
he's been using rage to initiate, which is definitely a mistake.
I think it depends a bit. I think he has to be the one initiating though, right? At the same time, you can use Fissure, Illuminate, spam from afar, but until Nyx Assassin has a Blink Dagger, he needs to be going in himself.
Oh, here comes that initiate. Xiaotuji, perhaps getting a little bit caught up, but they have things like mech. They don't even use anything for him. They know he's safe.
Yep, they dodge the Elder Titan Stun. That's still a nice little bit of damage done. It will force Xiaotuji. Actually, going to be sent back home by a test of fate.
Yeah, they're saying, you know, big creep wave up top. Let's just farm that. We'll back off here. Yep. Or they should back off here.
Do not stay bottom without Gyrocopter. Maybe Tongfu don't know that Gyrocopter's missing yet, but they will soon see him at that top lane, and it looks like the push is over for LGD for the time being.
Which is starting to become a concern. Having a quiet stage to farm for LGD to finish their BKBs, which is nice. But at the end of the day, they're working with a Clockwork, Elder Titan, magical damage heroes, which will taper off quite quickly. Much similar to how Lifestealer will taper off. I guess at the end of the day, LGD is still okay, because to me, they're working with the best late game carry hero in the game.
Yes.
Which is Gyrocopter, and the Lifestealer who is going for a mid-game build. So, if they could withstand the onslaught from Tongfu, LGD could maybe force the game 3.
Yeah, I think Tongfu, while they're happy to take this farming period and just do just that themselves, get their own mech up, they also know, going towards the ultra late game, Gyrocopter's going to be king. While he's not leading the net worth by any means, it's actually going to see a hook on the bottom lane. It's Zhou wants to try and take it, but going to get sent back home, and he almost goes down.
Yeah, almost goes down. The Earth Sword is going to slow down Zhou. Zhou's going to try to infest into a creep. BKB's already used here, and nobody's actually dying. Where the hell's... Zhou's going to come right back out. It says BKB's down. Let's take a fight. ZSMJ's Fissures off cooldown very soon. No harm, no foul. The only thing that was really used was a mech BKB and a Hand of God. Well, actually, Hand of God not used just yet.
The test of faith on Clockwork, but it seems like that's part of the LGD game plan. Just you can initiate on Zhou if you have whoever's going to be taking damage from him. Just have the Chen Sen back ready.
Is it correct to actually keep pushing against this lineup? I'm not really sure it is.
No, it's very difficult.
Yeah, you don't get.
They're chipping away at them with the Ancestral Spirit. Yao doing a great job of microing that and doing a ton of damage. But they can still spam AoE. Even when they're low HP, they don't have to retreat.
Clockwork hooks is back up in 2 seconds, so maybe they're thinking about using that. If you find Earthshaker or Keeper on the back line as your team is initiating, that's not too bad.
Another send back on Elder Titan.
I think he needs mana, right? Yeah, he's just healing a little bit mana, and he's going to come TPing back.
LGD have been sticking together, going for this sort of 5-man for some time here. They do split up for a little bit as Clockwork goes towards the middle lane. Gyrocopter, though, staying with the supports at bottom, and Elder Titan rejoining them. Tongfu need to be careful here. They've they've got buyback again on Joe now. So if their fight breaks out and he does happen to go down, he can buy back to sort of look to turn things around.
Yeah, I'm not really liking the fact that OD's part of this defense, because OD literally contribute nothing aside from his aura. I'd much rather see them to take advantage of the fact that they have Keeper of Light. It's a relocate. You could just, a recall as it's called. You could just have your 4-hero defend. I mean, they don't need the OD there. They have Fissure and Illuminate. They have Joe standing on the front line. And if it gets a little bit dangerous, then you make that TP. But talk about that later. Joe on the front line going against Xiao Wei. He hooks back in to apply that stun. The Cog's not there. It looks like the Centaur gets melted by it. OD's gonna get TP in, but he's really getting all apart here by multiple AoE. Self-Disrupt comes in, and here comes BKB Xiao Tuji on the front line. The flat cannon melting everybody. Looks like Chen got the last hit on OD. Why did OD make a frontal TP in front of tier 2? I have no clue.
That is not where he wanted to be positioning himself in that fight. And LGD, it took him a long time. They've been working on this for like 5-10 minutes now. They're going to get this tier 2 bottom tower. And Tongfu, well, this roller coaster of a game continues for them.
XTT got that Blink Dagger finally. Do they have detection on the Radiant side? They do see DD, and DD should be dead.
Yeah, he's caught out alone.
Ooh, he even sent his own... Oh.
Was there no Vendetta damage?
No, there wasn't Vendetta damage. He just blinked backwards. He's like, can't get the skill.
Alright.
Well, there is a mech available on DD, so probably not.
And we're looking at an Earthshaker who's not going to be getting Blink Dagger at any real point in this game. Well, let's hold that thought as mid lane. It's small initiation. Joe not being able to get a kill on Elder Titan, but Earthshaker with no gold to his name. He's just been sitting back spamming fishes. No Blink Dagger will be coming in.
I mean, if they really want him to have a blink, they really can. They could just like Keeper and Earthshaker go together. Keeper illuminates, and then he just fissure for the 5-6 CS. So
they're dealing with this, like, LGD are fighting really well because what they're just doing is throwing the rocket flares behind towers and then combining it with an Ancestral Spirit. If those hit Keeper Light and Earthshaker, that does a lot of damage, and they just kept on repeating that at bottom lane. Because when Joe went in at bottom lane, his supports were back at the tier 3 tower. They were nowhere near that tier 2. Because they were forced to play so far back, trying to avoid Ancestral Spirit, trying to not get caught out by a rocket flare, followed up by a hook shot. As a result, Joe's often very, very isolated. Even though he doesn't die, he doesn't have any backup damage.
To me, though, I just don't like the fact that Joe is trying to initiate. You just stand in front of the tier 2 tower and then allow Illuminate and Earthshaker to do their thing. Because what are they going to do? Run into it? But looks like they're going to initiate once again. That's a 2-man stun. They're going to focus on Xiao Tuji. BKB activated and a mech. And looks like they're going to try to right-click Crystal Minion, applying a ton of slow on the front line here. We have Clockwork trying to make it out alive. He's not going to be able to do so. Do we have an Earth Splitter? No, not just yet. But XCT running back in. Was it another mech? No, that was a Hand of God usage. Impale, that's going to clip on Yao as well. Really good kind of roller coaster going down the mid lane here. And Yao.
Echo Slam going to be used to try and guarantee the kill on Yao. Yao, though, is on the run. Not going to help him against Zhou. Triple kill for Zhou. That was a much better initiation. The Blink Impale from Nyx Assassin catching out Gyrocopter and Chen. They bought the Chen. Chen actually bought back for that fight just to pop his Hand of God and then meet up with his team at the mid lane where he did pop that mech. But it was too late. Tongfu had already... They needed his mech and heal in the fight, or at least his mech. And the heal, buying back just to use the Hand of God was not going to save the Gyrocopter. They lose too much there, and what a great fight going the way of Tongfu.
Yeah, Gyrocopter did end up living, but you know, the team fight's already lost. Oh, Cooldown's going to come through. Are they going to glyph for the tower? Nothing yet. Nothing yet. But tier 1's going to get destroyed. Crystal Minion ultimate on the front line. Really like that play. You know you're going to be dying in that chaotic AoE. Might as well apply a huge AoE slow, but again, not really enough. But Gyrocopter getting stronger and stronger. I like these initiates a lot more, where you just jump into the middle of the team fight. Whereas previously Joe trying to initiate with Rage and Open Wounds, not going to cut it. So Tongfu finding an alternate way to initiate is a very, very good sign for them. Here comes the SMY, and Joe now can even walk into that Roshan pit with the double damage and open wounds available.
And we talked about Earthshaker maybe not getting a Blink Dagger. Well, 1,200 gold after one fight like that.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, if they want the blink on him, they will get the blink on him. It's not too hard. And ZSMJ surviving and winning team fight is always a good sign. And suddenly you look to LGD again. Where's the damage? Xiao Wei going for BKB, doesn't have it. Yao going for BKB, doesn't have it. Gyrocopter's got a...
It was weird that during that passive farming time, you really thought LGD would get these BKBs up before they took another fight. But
yeah, if they had the BKB in that team fight, it would have been a lot better. Echo Slam at the end did a ton of damage.
Well, Tongfu going to get another tier 1 tower for themselves maybe at bottom lane. That will get Earthshaker closer to his Blink Dagger, but not going to be the case. Joe decides it's not safe, it's got to back off, and he'll start making his way towards his next line. With all these BKBs on the playing field, you've got to be thinking about the Basher into Abyssal Blade.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the next logical transition. Kind of round out his more of a mid-game base lineup, or mid-game base inventory. Keeper doing his thing, warding, dewarding. The mech's been doing a ton for his team. Here comes Clockwork. Oh, Clockwork's gonna get initiated on, baited by that haste ring. The Vision's gonna block him through. He's got a hook to his ally. Hook to the CM, my friend. Hook to the CM. Alright, you're okay.
He's out of mana though. Mana Link on him. I actually wore off before the hook shot, else it would have done a little bit of stun action. But Zhou gonna finish off some ancients here. Not gonna be too pleased about missing out on a potential kill there. A little pick off that could have gone their way, but even so, it's still Tongfu looking to get a bit more farm here. Moves back at the top lane. He is building towards a BKB, so Mithril is up. Surprised to see the Mithril before the Yoga Club, especially when he's this far behind, but
Obviously a Maelstrom.
Desolator.
Desolator OD is not really a combo.
Could do something. Let's go. I don't think there's anything else with the Mithril Hammer. No. Well, one of 3 items, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the BKB.
Alright, the first of many BKB finishes on Clockwork.
Elder Titan. Yeah, he's got his now.
I almost want to say BKB at this point is not going to be that effective for Clockwork. I almost want to see a 4-staff.
Yeah. I think if he had it like 5-10 minutes ago, it'd make a big difference, but at this point, Lifesteal is hitting pretty hard. They can just... I don't think they have to worry as much about him.
At the same time, you are dealing with all these annoying pesky spells like Earthshaker, Fissure, Illuminate, the Nyx Assassin that's, you know, blinking back in. So having BKBs is never a bad thing. It's just that even if they have a BKB right now for LGD lineup, they're not winning many team fights because they just don't have damage. Again, where is the damage coming from?
Well, we're going to see... Maybe they look for this smoke gank to succeed, try and bait in LGD to go on the gyrocopter, and then just, well, they may not have a huge amount of burst damage, but if Tongfu are out of position, they can look to take a fight that way.
Well, they see and it was the SMJ is farming for that blink, and he's up to 1600 gold. Kind of talked about it, Illuminate, Fissure, a couple of creep waves. And Moon is the target that they want to go for. 4-staff and BKB available, but there are ways for them to catch up. Namely the cogs coming out. But no, they're going to just try to siege here too. This is completely obvious. There's no way Tongfu doesn't realize that. There's no way Xiao Tuji will go push across the river by himself without backup.
And then every second LGD wait is a second closer to SMJ's Blink Dagger. 150 gold away from this with the help of Zhou getting that bottom tower. And
oh, the Fissure grabbed
nice.
everybody, and here comes Zhou using this rage, now going for Xiao. He pops the BKB, debuffs the slow. There's a snare on Zhou, but they just don't have the damage. Xiao with the first 10-second BKB, and that's it. He just stands around, waits it out.
That's fine for Tongfu. I don't think they'll be too worried about not getting any kills off of that. And I'm surprised if LGD try and hold their ground and take another fight. I don't think that's going to be too good of a decision for them.
I think you back off and farm that top.
Yeah, Zhou's just going to go initiate it. He wants Rabber at least to try and force a BKB. Another ensnare comes out. This Troll Warlord micro coming into play as that's one way of locking down Zhou in place at least for a little bit.
Yeah,
oh, here's the infested Nyx.
Oh, they gotta get out quick. We see a TP and everybody will retreat. Xiao Tuji will farm the creep wave, and good thing that there's nobody lagging too far behind.
Oh, but Nyx could blink into the Ancients if he could find someone. Not going to find anyone just yet.
Yeah, he's going to check the neutrals, which is a very good place to see. Crystal Maiden running right there. Oh man, these guys are...
Oh, if he checked a second later.
Ooh, mid lane though, they are going to find Clock. Clock
Can't
even hook his way out there. That's
and DD in trouble as well.
Look at how fast Zhou's moving. This is the race car build. We need the mech. We need a Frostbite. They're doing a very good job slowing him down. The Fissure and the blink coming from ZSMJ. DD's dead.
Elder Titan, is he actually going to go for this? This is more
Do you
just
ult this,
stolen.
Crystal Maiden? Yes, you do. Huge AoE ultimate. That's not enough. They're going to get ZSMJ, but they're going to trade Crystal Maiden as a result. We see a blink. We're going to see Impel after it comes off cooldown. But here comes Xiao Tuji. Call down onto 3 heroes. The Flat Cannon doing some work. Zhou trying to lifesteal. He's invested into a creep, I think.
No, he actually ended up going
dead.
down. Keeper of the Light surviving on 12 HP. Creeps chasing Keeper of the Light. Has got a mech. He tried to mech his teammate there. But OD, Moo goes down as well. Speaking of Moo, what has he actually done for the last 34 minutes of this game?
He fed.
Oh, he's had a rough time. And that was a great execution considering you're already down 2 heroes. They lost Chen and Clockwork, and then they're like, we can do this. Let's 3v5.
Yeah.
Elder Titan goes in with a great ultimate.
Yeah. The cool thing about Elder Titan's stun is that not only is it a stun, it's a long stun. It's like the entire team being Nightmare. That means you get to TP everybody and anybody that you want to TP into your towers. And I think Xiao Tuji might have even walked there. So the Crystal Maiden AoE wasn't really the AoE that killed him, but it was setting up enough time for the Clockwork or Gyrocopter to come in and do the rest of the heavy lifting. And Gyrocopter's now got himself a helm. Suddenly, Lifestealer is like, uh-oh, I have a lot of damage, but he also has a ton of armor.
He should have had the bash of that last fight. That would have helped him a lot as far as keeping a lot of these heroes in place. He did have enough gold for that as well as maintaining his buyback, but we'll see him now pick up the basher. LGD realize, hey, they've still got a lot of fight left in them, and Elder Titan, we're starting to see his power. This is much better results coming out from this hero than the last games we've seen LGD use him.
Yeah, in these more kind of back and forth chasing team fights, and more especially where Tongfu is relying on the range, Elder Titan's a good hero to have because he's a hero that could give you a ton of range. Remember there was this kill on the mid lane where Elder Titan was just off the screen and just sniped them with an Astral Spirit. That's kind of the things I'm talking about, where he could provide vision, give great AoE damage, and let's not forget Natural Order will be applied on his Astral Spirit, which starting to get ticked up against a hero that, for example, have 11 base armor like Lifestealer. He is going to lose a ton of that armor, for example, to the Aura.
Alright, well, Radiant team, they're quite happy with their position. It seems LGD 22 to 21. Looking at the gold graph, they're still behind though. They're behind by 3,000 gold. It still feels slightly like Tongfu are ahead, but not by much anymore, or if much at all. And the big problem is this OD, who's yet to have a single impact on this game. Bottom lane.
They're behind now. I don't know why Xiao Tuji's
They can't lose Xiao Tuji here.
They're going to lose Xiao Tuji. Unless we have a mech coming. Where's the hand? There's no hand. That's not going to hit. The stop will, and Xiao Tuji with his face. He's blinking with ZSMJ. Fissure's going to get the Zio. Okay.
That was a BKB charge as well.
Yep. Oh. That's an Astral. He's going to have to pop his BKB. He does pop it, but the first hit bash.
That RNG. Almost as good as the road.
That is not. This is not LGD like. Just lose two random here. Why was Xiao Tuji right next to the tier 2? Was he trying to solo siege? No, tier 2 was down a while back.
Sure, not just two random heroes, they're two most important heroes at this point, it feels like.
Yeah, and now Tongfu's going to get a free Aegis. What's going on here?
LGD crumbling under pressure. We're 37 minutes in. They played a solid game so far, but a bad fight or two here and there, and we're seeing LGD fall further and further behind.
I felt like even with 3,000 gold disadvantage, it's like you said, they were... That 3,000 deficit wasn't like any other 3,000 gold deficit they had before. It was just... It's okay, you know, it's just gold, it's just tower. They could have win a fight and get it back, but suddenly with the Aegis now on top of the Lifestealer, Zhou could go ham, and he's been going ham.
And suddenly, Mu, level 16, has enough gold for an Ultimate Orb, can start looking towards a Hex. For the first time this game, he may actually do something.
Yeah, he's been draining people's mana with ult, right? That's something.
Well, most of these heroes have big enough mana pools that not to worry about it at this stage of the game. Clockwork may be the one hero who is a bit mana starved with just the 500 or 500 mana pool.
Yeah, the big thing for Tongfu is that after they pick up the Aegis on Zhou, he doesn't have to save for buyback, so he could just freely buy Abyssal Blade. Whereas if he didn't have the Aegis, maybe he would have just sandbagged his gold a bit and then wait for the Abyssal. So the next team fight, Tongfu with Abyssal up, and especially a way to deliver the Abyssal to the target intended with XTT's Blink, they are gonna win the next team fight. Unless some miraculous kind of chain stun coming. That's why I think you need a 4-staff, because it doesn't matter if Xiao Tuji, for example, gets Abyssal, you can still 4-staff him away from the Lifestealer.
And he actually sold his drum, so he's already preparing to fill that item slot with whatever he wants to get as his last item.
Who did? Who sells his drum? The Lifestealer?
Lifestealer, Joe. So he's got an empty slot even with the Age. He had the drums, and he's like, oh, I'm selling my drums, I'll get the Abyssal Blade. He was like 100 gold short, so...
Maybe it's just a TP for now.
Yeah. But ultimately, we'll be able to finish that. Something like an Assault Crest for the team with all the BKB carries and to negate a lot of that Gyrocopter damage could be the way to go.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, LGD trying to just farm things up as much as possible now. I think they know Tongfu trying to go for a push soon, so they want to make sure they have buybacks on their team, which right now, their core heroes do not.
Yeah, I really like the fact that they don't have Zhou into the in the Nyx Assassin. A lot of times they're like, oh yeah, let's just Nyx Assassin Lifestealer bomb, but he could just send the frontline hit the tower because he's got Aegis like this. And if Lifestealer is inside XTT, well, who's actually gonna stand in frontline? Who? That's not gonna work.
He can stand in front seeing the tower, but he's taking a ton of damage. He's actually going to infest out of that because he's gone down very low.
The Ensnare actually made the hook miss, and Crystal Maiden's going to be in huge trouble. The Cogs trying to help it out, but it's going to be a 2-man impale. Xiao pops his BKB. Echo Slam's going to come in. Xiao Tuji didn't pop his BKB. He pops it now, but he's still on the run. He's going to try to right-click. Huge stomps coming out here from Yao, but Xiao Tuji's going to be the first one to die. All they get is an Aegis out of it. Yao BKB's running out. And what is All these fissure blocks, holy shit!
Well, they're still chasing. They say screw the tier 2 tower. Let's try and get in the enemy base and try and find some more openings here. Nyx Assassin going to just blink his way down. Tier 2 tower goes down. Just Elder Titan and Chen left standing. Should be able to get some damage done to this tier 3 tower. CM will be respawning, but with Zhou having no Aegis, they do have to be a little bit careful, but they feel confident they can at least get damage done to the tier 3 tower.
Yeah, it was a game that had only 3,000 gold lead, and suddenly we're looking at 7,500 as another team fight is won for Tongfu. Tier 2 goes down, Tier 3 in huge trouble. I want to see one more fight coming out from LGD. They're going to have Gyrocopter responding about 35 seconds. But this is really long of a 35 second.
Elder Titan gets sent back home, and now we're going to see Zhou rage up after getting the tower. We're not going to see them fully commit to Raxus here. And good news at that, something they would not have been able to get. Zhou needs to be careful. Clockwork Rocket would actually kill him here. Needs to, leave that armored on, or at least keep toggling off and on. He's actually going to find a regen rune. Fortune favors the brave.
Or the instant armor toggle. Can't you just, like, if you have a script, you just leave your armlet on? And if Rocket Flare comes in, you're just like, oh, toggle it. That works, right?
What do you mean? It doesn't automatically toggle it for you. You still have to push the button.
Oh. Oh, you just have to toggle it through DLTs.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like you when you have damage over time on you, like they don't actually kill you if you use the instant armlet. But we're going to see LGD in a bit of a pickle now. They're not up against the Aegis on the Tongfu side, but if Tongfu really want, they can spend this time farming, wait for the next Roshan to come up before they take another fight. And by then, you're looking at Zhou having that next big item. By then, you're looking at OD having a finished Hex.
I mean, ZSMJ's got Blink Ghost and a Savage Wizardry on top.
Oh, they're catching out DD here. It looks like they will do just that. He's trapped. Actually, it looks like the Blinding Light pushed him out of the fissure block, but...
How's DD getting caught like this?
He's looking for... He wants to make a creep army, it seems. And Tongfu going to spend some time now with Chen on the sidelines, pushing down this tier 2 bottom tower. Definitely confident they can get these outer towers. And LGD grouped up to... Well, not grouped up, but they've got a couple of heroes at mid lane. Probably just going for somewhat of a counter push.
Yeah, might as well get some creep equilibrium going. Forces back a TP. In fact, forces back 2 TPs. Really don't think this overcommitment is necessary. Again, I have not seen Tongfu actually use Keeper's Slice recall in an effective manner.
Yeah.
Have they forgot how to play PL Keeper? This is all you do. You just recall all day. You send one people to TP defend that tower, and then you just recall them back.
Well, Zhou picks up the tower for his team. It has a Reaver as well now. Speaking of Zhou, I mean, the quote-unquote burden of IG. To me, him and ZSMJ have been the 2 best players of this Tongfu team in this tournament.
Yeah.
They have been the 2 standouts. Zhou's played really well, as has ZSMJ.
SinaCup's been playing well, too.
Yeah.
Minus a recalls. But I think that's more or less a team thing. XTT is on and off. Today he's been really on. He's been playing solid performance. Sometimes he's off.
I don't think Moo's play. I mean, looking at Moo, like, we sort of talk about him not having much of an impact. I don't think it's entirely.
It's just this game, I think.
It's LGD's their entire attention was just like, let's shut down Moo this game. Moo didn't respond as well as he could have. As far as he's got 10 deaths as an OD solo mid, which shouldn't be happening. But even so, his team wanted to sort of. I feel like the supports almost let him down a bit this game.
I mean, their supports were somewhat tied down to that bot lane to kind of.
They were, but like they didn't actually.
They were playing Clarity Dota.
They never ended up shutting down Zhao Tuji. So I mean, we talk about the supports playing well. This was, I think, one of the games where the
I think they had. Remember that stat we gave? It was like 8 minutes in, we had Life Slayer with.
Yeah, it's true. ADCS and
ADCS and everybody had
30 to 40. Yeah.
They didn't kill him, but they shut him down.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Zhou now, he's got enough gold almost for his Heart of Tarrasque. I think Heart of Tarrasque is what he wants to go for, just to have that the passive 2% per second regen or whatever it is.
Yeah, that allows them to siege on the high ground.
Yeah. You get down to half HP, you don't have to use an infest every time you get low. Because right in the past fights, like they were sieging the tier 2, he had to infest a chain creep just to heal himself up to continue the siege. But with a heart, you back off, you regen it passively. So it's actually a good siege. I think he
lost the Aegis because he had to use infest early like that. So
yeah. They did a really good job of dealing with the sieging lifesteal that last fight, LGD. Otherwise, I see them losing Raxus there. But even with an Aegis, you still have to throw spells at him and nuke him down as much as possible.
And now there's a Hex on top of Mu, so he is going to start contributing. In terms of the item progression for a Radiant side, nothing. There's a Plate Mail on Xiao 8. That's pretty much it. And of course, an Orb of, or Ultimate Orb on Yao. But these are not really real items in the same sense that a Heart and a Hex is.
Yep. Well, Zhou is going to be able to easily get this tier 2 top tower. It's already nice and low. I don't see LGD wanting to take a fight outside their base, but they're in a position which suggests they might. I'm surprised, but they're going to make a go at this. Xiaowei goes in onto Zhou. Zhou needs to just finish off this clockwork here.
He pops the BKB and gets the bash to hell.
Oh god, there's no dealing with Zhou, it looks like. He hasn't got Aegis, so if he gets brought down by the Elder Titan physical damage, CM ultimate, they kill off Zhou. No ability to get off an infest there. He couldn't get away, so this could be an okay fight for LGD. Unfortunately, here comes XCT, Blinks and Impale, Carapace, everything he needs to try and lock down LGD. It looks like they are going to lose the Elder Titan. It's Mu on the OD, doing some damage finally. He needs to get rid of this rocket, as this is actually going to cause him a bit of problems here.
Uh-oh. Nobody right-clicking. I don't think they know who's they're targeting. So they're both running, but they got the Astro now. So
Now they figure it out. All right.
Okay. Whew, that was close.
Wow, that was a good hold by LGD. I was just saying, I don't think they should fight at the tier 2.
They lost all 3 cores, and Xiao Tuji was forced to buy back. And meanwhile, oh, there's no buyback on ZSMJ, or not ZSMJ.
Yeah, he just bought his heart.
Yeah, there's no buyback on Zhou, so maybe we're going to see some tier 3 tower damage.
Well, LGD not really positioning themselves to push down this middle lane. 40 seconds is up, so it's not going to be enough time for LGD to go for a push. It looks like they're just trying to regroup, get a couple more items. DD going to pick up a gem on himself on the
Not
Chen.
too bad, yeah.
Any dewarding you can do at this point is well worth it, as well as having it for the Vendetta. And Gyrocopter, well, buyback on cooldown, he needs to just say, let's get his next big item up. Do you consider Divine Rapier, or are you still looking at
You consider
other
Divine
items?
Rapier. I mean, the question is, L2G, Eternal Envy, have big enough balls? And the answer is no, because I've never seen Chinese Gyrocopter make that type of play.
I've seen Burning go straight BKB Divine Rapier. He's had like a 22-minute Divine Rapier on Gyro.
Did he lose that game?
No. They won that game.
Damn.
They got BKB, they killed Roshan at 21 minutes, and he just straight up bought a Divine Rapier, and 2 minutes later the game was over.
Okay.
It was like a 24, 25-minute Gyro with Aegis BKB Divine Rapier marching down the mid lane.
I think this is the different type of game where you actually need that Divine.
Yep.
And need it badly. 3,100 gold here. Smoke up. I think a normal team would just defend and farm, but you know, they're going to go for some plays. They should see Mu marching down the mid lane once he starts hitting the Screed Wave. He sees him now.
Is this the right target to go on, though? Because Tongfu already in position to counter-initiate. ZSMJ.
They can't
He's
kill
nearby.
Mu. He's got Force and BKB. There's no way you kill him.
Yeah. And Roshan's back up. This is where you see LGD smoke up, and they're not defending because they know Roshan is important for them.
Ooh,
Ancestral
Astro?
Spirit.
ZSMJ is the target you want to go for, but he's got a Force Staff himself, so you're not really locking down anybody. So Zhou or Xiaowei.
He's an Abyssal.
So he's gonna hook back in.
Multiple heroes stunned by the Elder Titan on the background. Meanwhile, Zhou can get
Force
forced out.
Staff. Multiple Force
He's
Staff.
taking a lot of damage here. They need to disengage Tongfu.
They got heart. They got just off the way. Huge echo slam by ZSMJ. That's gonna be on top of everybody. And here comes the sanity. So that's gonna be a team wipe coming out.
Wombo
Ultra count from
combo.
Zhou. ZSMJ still carrying hard.
Yeah.
Still carrying really, really hard.
It was a big echo. I've seen bigger echo slam. It was just 2 heroes.
Oh come on!
It was
instead
good.
of
It was good.
everything else, the
Look,
fissure afterwards.
It was good. I'm satisfied with ZSMJ, but I've seen bigger echo slams.
Well, easy game, easy life, as they say.
Tongfu 2-0 LGD. They're going to the grand finals here at
Oh.
the SinaCup.
There's some IG.
It's on. We're
There's
getting
some
it.
IG show grudge
Yes.
match.
I'm looking forward to that. That's tomorrow. I think we start at the same time, which is 3 a.m. Pacific time.
Best of 5.
Best of 5. IG Tongfu Grand Finals. LGD, they finished in 3rd place here at the SinaCup, the Supernova Dota 2 Open. That's right. And yeah, it was just a really... Tongfu just looked better. I feel like they had a better plan with as far as what they want to do with the drafts. Even though this game particularly, I feel they didn't execute it all too well. Their offensive tri lane did okay. They slowed down the Gyrocopter CS, but they didn't protect the OD mid. They didn't actually kill the Gyrocopter. And they had a Nyx Assassin. Like last game, it's a Mirana who can offer a bit... Well, I guess Mirana and Nyx Assassin, the way they play the Mirana is a similar role, but...
Yeah, to me, I think Xiaowei trying to figure out the new playstyle of what his draft needs. Sometimes it works when he goes Puck, Blink, Dagon. That's nice, but other times, not enough damage, for example, in this game, or not pushing enough, or not just effective in their rotations. OG's back to the drawing board. But what's more important is that they're trying these stuff out. If you just play center LGD 3 core or 4 protect 1, you're not going to win TI. If you try a new strategy and sure you lose with them, but you are trying things out and you're going to eventually learn how to play the strategy, then you have another weapon in TI. So
And as for Tongfu, I feel like they figured out a plan that works, which is Zhou as that safe lane solo
have
carry,
CSMJ carry on the support. That's the plan.
offensive trialing, and then the supports play just rotating from mid to the off lane just really well. Like they'll help Mu when it's needed. That game the help wasn't really timed as well as it possible, but in general they leave Zhou just do his own thing. He doesn't need support. He's no burden for Tongfu.
No.
And we'll see whether or not that remains the case in the grand finals. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at a similar time where they take on IG. But we're going to take a bit of a break, but when we come back, we're going to have We Play Dota 2 action.
This is the match.
It's Kaipi versus Mouse, Flipside, yada yada,
yeah.
Quantic. I think there's a qualifier match going on right now, which we didn't get ourselves into, but that's okay
Thank goodness. For me.
for you.
That's not represented beyond Summit, but thank goodness.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I believe this match between Kaipi and Mouse is going to be starting as soon as that qualifying match is over. It's scheduled for 15 minutes from now. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be live as soon as possible.